Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eleanor Neekervater and this is the mid-year book Freakout tag. It is halfway through 2021, which is so scary to say. This year has absolutely flown by 100 miles an hour, and I can't believe I'm already filming this video. So yeah, just want to get started with the questions. The first question is the best book you've read so far in 2021. That has to be Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant. This was a creepy, scary, very intense horror about mermaids set in the Mariana Trench. It's to do with kind of killer mermaids basically, and an expedition to find a lost crew sort of thing on a ship that goes missing in the middle of the ocean. There's so much science in this, and yeah, it's very eerie and creepy and a fantastic standalone book, and I absolutely loved it. I couldn't put it down. It was so thrilling and yeah, quite creepy and horror filled at the same time. That's all the adjectives. The next question is, what is the best sequel you read so far in 2021? And for me, that is The Galaxy and the Ground Within by Becky Chambers, the fourth and final book in the Wayfarer series. I'm gutted that this is the last book in that series. It's a beautiful world and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It's beautiful inside and out. Got a wee visitor for a wee moment. Don't think we've seen Calcifer lately. You causing chaos, making me get up and down to turn off your noisy toys. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by my cat, this book is beautiful inside and out. You're following three kind of travelling spaceships who get trapped on a planet and stay on this kind of surface kind of motel kind of thing on this planet Gora, I think I remember correctly, and it's unlikely alien species kind of thrust together and while they're trapped, and a few things go on, but it's not really about the plot as is the way with the Wayfarer series. It's about the character development, and none of these characters or species are human. They're all very, very different alien species, and Becky Chambers is just fantastic at writing other alien species and their cultures and background and history and language, and their physicality is just so beautifully done, and I love this story, and yeah, could gush all day. And as usual, all the books I've talked about, if I have an individual book review, I'll leave them linked in the description as well, so you can check out my more in-depth thoughts. The next question is, what is a new release you haven't read yet but want to? And I have chosen The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. The paperback edition was published this year, and I recently gifted this for my birthday. So this is a book I'm actually really eager to get to. I'd heard quite a lot about it, and I believe it has a bit of a kind of mystery, kind of science fiction elements to it. I'm not too sure what the actual story is about, but there's been a lot of buzz about this book and I'm really excited and intrigued by it and want to get to it soon. I also just really love the image on the front with all the colours. I think it's really pretty. I've not read any Matt Haig before, so I'm excited for this to be my first book by him. Next question is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? And for me, that is The Sword of Light, a Four Treasures novel by Carolyn Logan, which is the third book in her Four Treasures series. I read the first two books this year and I'm so eagerly anticipating the third book. I love this world and these characters so much. I think a character and a book also appear further on in these questions, just because it's a new favourite series of mine and more people should read it. It is a Scottish kind of fantasy folklore inspired book set in this crazy magical land with mythical creatures and magic and just some really well developed characters and plot, and there's just so much going on and it's just such a fantastic story and it's so engaging, and I think more people should be reading it. So I'm very excited to get to book 3, and I will be very sad that I have to wait even longer for book 4. The next question is, what was your biggest disappointment of 2021? I actually found this a really hard kind of question to answer, because I've read about 43 books so far as of filming this video, and that sounded like so much, but when I've got my list in front of me on Goodreads and I'm looking through all the books I have to choose from, it doesn't seem like very many at all, and I don't have much to choose from, which is quite strange. So I think I'll have to pick No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference by Greta Thunberg, mostly just because it is a kind of collection of her speeches, and speeches aren't very great to be read. They're meant to be listened to, and because it was like 10 or so speeches that she'd given over a period of like a year or two, there was so much repetition, and it really wasn't supposed to be a book. It would have been better in more of like a podcast format or something you could have downloaded, and it would have been better if it was like rewritten and reformed into a more cohesive kind of summing up of her speeches, rather than each speech individually put across, because they were all pretty much identical. So that was a big disappointment to me, because that's not what I was expecting when I read the book, and I'm kind of scraping the barrel picking that one. I'm going to mesh the next two questions together because it's the same book. Question 6, what was your biggest surprise? And question 7, favourite new author or debut or new to you? And for both of those questions, I'm going with The Stone of Destiny, The Cauldron of Life by Karen Logan. She's a new to me author this year, and this is the first two books in the Four Treasures series. Third one's coming out later this year. I did think and hope that I would enjoy this series, because a few other people here on BookTube had read them and highly recommended them. But I didn't quite realise that I was going to fall in love with this world and these characters and the story, and it to become a new favourite series of mine. That was unexpected. So I was very much pleased by that. And because it was a surprise new favourite, I'm obviously now in love with Caroline Logan's writing and world building, and I know she's going to finish off this Four Treasures series, but I'm very eager to read whatever she writes in the future, and hope she continues on writing, because this series, if her work continues to be like this and or improve, I'm going to love all her books, and I'm excited to see what else she can write in the future. The next question, question number 8, your newest fictional crush? See, I don't really think about people in books this way. That's not really on my mind when I'm reading, so can't really say I have one to pick from. Yeah, no, I don't have one, I'm afraid. Question number 9 is newest fictional character. I should have lumped this together as well. Is Alyssa from The Stone of Destiny. She's the main character. Sorry, that's my cat causing chaos if you can hear him crashing about. He's quite hyper. Is Alyssa from The Stone of Destiny. She is the main protagonist in this series, and for this first book she's the main point of view, and you do get other points of view later on. But I just think she has such a fantastic foundation for a character, great backstory. She has flaws, but she develops and changes, and she has depth, and Caroline Logan is just so brilliant at writing characters, and I really loved Alyssa's portrayal. She wasn't a big stereotype of a badass female character. There was more nuance to her, and I really enjoyed reading her. Question number 10, what was a book that made you cry? And that's going to be Recursion by Blake Crouch. I don't have the physical book here with me. I lent it to someone to read. I can't say much about this book because it is science fiction, and it is very confusing and a mystery kind of thing, and you puzzle it out as you go along. So what I would say about it could be quite spoilery. But as the story goes on, it just gets really harrowing when you think about the deeper implications about what's going on with these characters. And I don't think I actually physically cried. Sometimes I don't really cry, but it was really emotional, and I felt on the verge of crying. And another book that I'll also put in here that could answer this question was Run Rebel by Manjeet Man, which was one of the books that we read for the Femathon in March. This is a contemporary story about a young girl who has got a very difficult home situation, and she goes through a lot of trials and tribulations, and yeah, it's very emotional because it's written in verse, so it cuts straight to the heart of the problem, and yeah, it's quite an emotional read. Question number 11, a book that made you happy, and that for me is going to be The Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I think I've read 5 of the books so far. I'm not sure how many more there is to go. I think she's still writing them. I loved all of these books. Murderbot is such a fantastic character. They are a kind of mechanical construct who has consciousness, and they break away from their control, so they have free will, and all they want to do is watch soap operas basically, and they are a sec unit, so they're basically tasked with security, and it is their journey with lots of different crews, and obviously things go wrong and they help out with things and lots of stuff happens, but their personality and their character is just so much fun. It's just a great laugh, and I love the science fiction elements of this world and the way space works, and the different planets and all the different characters. There's so much diversity in this series and I thoroughly enjoy it. So that is definitely a book series that made me happy. Question number 11, what is the most beautiful book you bought this year or received? And if you've seen my recent birthday book haul video, I don't think it'll come to any surprise that I've picked Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, which is a gift that I received from my boyfriend for my birthday, and it's this beautiful edition of Jurassic Park from the Folio Society, and it's absolutely stunning. So this is definitely the best book, most beautiful book I received this year. Question number 13 is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I have a whole TBR shelf. I'm going to be doing a video soon about my TBR shelf to let you know what I have there and what I need to be read, and what I need to get read, I should say. But a priority for me is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, and I also want to continue on with the Night Watch series, so Day Watch and Twilight Watch by Sergei Lukavenenko. I enjoyed the first book, but it was quite difficult to read because it's a translated story set in Moscow, very much Russian, and a very different type of magic society and functioning in the way it works in that society, if that makes sense. So I don't want to leave it too long before picking this up again, otherwise I'll have to read the first one, because it's not something you can dip in and out with not knowing the full picture, because I think I would be quite confused. So these are just very quickly picked off my shelf as what I'm going to answer for this question, otherwise I'd be here all day listing all these books that I need to get to. And question number 14 is your favourite book community member. I think it's really difficult to pick favourites, and I certainly wouldn't want to pick only one, because that's not fair, I don't think. So I think I'm going to go with Faye from Books and Chocoholic and Victoria from The Bookish Sock, who are my wee booktube pals here on this corner of the internet, and the three of us, along with Kayla, who used to make book videos on Reading Cloud, have a little announcement coming soon, and I think you'll be excited for it. So that's a wee kind of shameless promo for that announcement, so watch this space for what's coming there. So I think I'm going to plug them, so go check out their channels, give them lots of love. We're all small booktubers here, so spread the love and see if you can find more book people to follow, because we do have lots of similarities in our reading tastes, but we're all very different as well. So hopefully you find some more people to get book recommendations from. I kind of lost the thread of what I was saying there. Hope you didn't notice. So thank you for watching. This was the Midyear book Freakout tag. I tried to be as concise and quick as possible. I will see in editing how well that turned out. So thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what your answers to some of these questions are down in the description, and I will leave the original creator of this tag down below as well, so you can go give their video and channel some love if they've posted for this year too. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.